My mother always wanted a baby girl, so when I was born, her fifth child, but first girl, she was over the moon. There are pictures of my nursery and baby shower. It was sickeningly pink. And, growing up, she insisted that I collect dolls. I wasn't actually into them. They actually creeped me out. On my 6th birthday, she gave me the creepiest doll I had gotten yet. At least I thought it was the creepiest. And of course, she had somehow coordinated my dress that day to its outfit, without me even knowing. She was wearing a light pink dress with pink lace, and she had a pink bow in her hair. I never told my mom that I didn't like dolls because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I thanked her and hugged her around the neck like always. I remember this all so clearly because that doll changed my life forever years later. I've never been the same since these encounters have happened. The doll was quickly forgotten, as toys are at that age, and my mom put it away because, like I said, she insisted I collect them. When I moved out on my own for the first time, she also insisted I take them with me. In fact, she bought an expensive curio cabinet to display them, so I felt obligated to do so. I didn't realize that I should have politely taken the dolls and burned them. It was about 3 days after I moved in, the curio cabinet was delivered, and I had the movers put it in my dining room. I knew I wasn't going to use the dining room often because I was only 19, so it was the perfect place in my opinion. That sounds harsh, but I promise it's necessary. I was loading all the dolls from the storage bin into the cabinet, trying to put the creepiest on the bottom shelf, where they wouldn't be eye level at least. I grabbed the doll from my 6th birthday, shuddered, and thought to myself, yup, she's as creepy as I remember. She was definitely going on the bottom shelf, behind a rather old painted doll my mom had gotten from a thrift store and told me it was vintage. Finally, that task was done, and I could take pictures for Mom to make her happy. Later, I was unpacking the kitchen, which sadly faced the dining room and creepy doll cabinet. I swear all the dolls were peering into my soul, but I told myself to quit being a baby and got back to unpacking. I was putting some glass cups in one of the cabinets when out of the corner of my eye, I swear I saw movement. But nothing seemed out of place, at least from what I could tell. I'd have to look at the picture I took later. A while later, I went into the kitchen to get another glass of water, and the doll was facing the wall. I dropped and shattered that water glass. Now, I didn't like that doll, but I didn't turn her around to face the wall either. I went to check the picture on my phone that I had yet to send my mom, but the picture was gone. I checked my gallery and the trash. I even checked Google Cloud and nothing. The picture was nowhere to be found. So I took another one, only this time I took multiple, and I emailed one to myself, so I knew it was somewhere else, backed up. I had a hard time sleeping that night, but I had finally fallen asleep at some point because I was rudely woken up by the neighbor's loud music at around 2 a.m. "Really?" I shouted. I wasn't even old enough to go to the bar yet, but I was definitely vowing to never come home after bar close and cause a scene, because this neighbor had for 3 nights in a row now, and it was getting old fast. I heard a crash in the kitchen and figured it was probably from the bass of the stereo. I mean it, this guy's music was loud. Might as well grab a snack while I'm up, I thought. Stepping into the kitchen, I froze. The curio cabinet door was open slightly, and the doll with the pink dress was standing 2 to 3 inches outside it. But none of the other dolls had moved an inch. Still trying to pass it off as the bass from the speakers, I put the doll back and shut the cabinet. I wrote a reminder to talk to the guy next door about his music the next day and got back to bed. I made a mental note of where I placed the doll, sitting in the left corner, staring straight ahead, just in case. I felt like I was going crazy. It had to be the base that knocked the cabinet around. The doll is not alive, Felicia, I told myself. The next morning, she was right where I left her. See, I thought to myself, it was just the idiot next door. But that theory was quickly put to bed when I returned from class the next day and the cabinet was again open, and two of the dolls were standing outside. The girl in the pink dress and the doll that was next to her. Again, I firmly put the dolls back in their places and shut the cabinet, saying out loud, "Dolls are not alive, Felicia. Stop it." As I was walking out of the room, I heard giggling. I froze, turned slowly, and screamed. There she was, standing outside the cabinet again. I was shaking so hard I knocked my phone off the counter when I went to call my mom. Picking it up, I dialed her, told her to get over here now, and hung up. I'm sure she was panicked, but I was too shaken up to care. I grabbed the storage bin she brought the dolls in and packed them all back up as quickly as possible. I didn't even wait for her to knock on the door. I was waiting outside with the tote. "Felicia, what the heck is going on? Are you okay?" my mom said, rushing towards me. I was still shaking when I said, "Here, I never want to see these again. I don't care what you do with them, but they can't stay here." She was able to calm me down enough to tell her what I experienced. My mom had actually always believed in the paranormal, so she promised to take them home and cleanse them and bring them back. But I made her keep them, and they've been on display in her dining room since. She says despite being cleansed, she still sees the doll's head turned a different way or she'll be in an entirely different position. I don't know how she lives with them. I barely made it a week. Okay, nope. I said this in a previous video about dolls, which I'll try to link here, but they creep me out. I'd rather collect taxidermy animals or even a wall full of Furbies. Felicia, you are one brave woman for keeping them in your house as long as you did. And thank you for sharing your story with us. Please like and subscribe, friends. It helps the channel immensely. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow, friends.